CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.
How's it going, collectors? This is Tom from CollectAWrestlePalooza. We're doing Horror VHS this week. I'm super excited. I love this category. We're going to count down the top 5 prices paid at eBay auction for Horror VHS. The criteria for this video is simple. I go onto eBay, I type in Horror VHS in the search terms, and then I look at sold auctions and the highest prices. If it doesn't look like a legit sale, I will filter it out, but otherwise anything goes. Coming in at number 5 is 1982's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the first print on Wizard video. How cool is this object? Just look at the box cover, look at the front. This is independent, low-budget horror at its finest. And in 1982, VHS was relatively new as well, so this title has some mystique. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It defines the slasher genre, but it's not a bloody film. It just builds tension because the storyline and the filmmaking itself is extraordinary, as well as the mystique and all of the power behind just the title, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you're gonna own it, owning the first print on Wizard Video is the way to go. It just feels authentic for a movie that's been remade and reissued a number of times. And $500 for this. It is a raw copy. This isn't even a sealed copy, but it feels like it's a pretty good price for a pretty good looking object and a piece of cinematic history. 1982's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Coming in at number 4 is another horror classic, 1982's The Evil Dead, an HBO Canon Video sealed copy without a barcode sold at auction for $500. I don't know why the seller specified no barcode. Perhaps that's a rarer edition. If you do know, leave a comment and let us know. But it does have an amazing hype sticker on it. It says, "Save a Bloody Fortune 1995 with a bloody knife." I love it for The Evil Dead. Looks to be in pretty good shape. You will notice that this one came in at the same price as number 5, which is $500. I took some liberties. I generally will only list the item price in my top 5s. However, eBay ranks them by the item plus the shipping price. So if it's pretty close, an item with shipping might cost more than an item without shipping, but the item price itself might actually be less. So I didn't get into that. I didn't want to quibble in terms of the order between number 3, 4, and 5, so I just listed them all at $500. Really nice price for a beautiful sealed copy of an early 1982 VHS. And you'll see here number 3 also came in at $500, same story. This is a Nightmare on Elm Street, but this one is graded by CGC as a 9.4, sealed and graded copy, again $500. This is my favorite horror movie of all time. I mean, come on, Freddy, what a great horror villain. He's got his gloved claw. Fun fact, look at the box cover here. The glove isn't even the real glove from the movie. It looks like a mechanical bony hand, which didn't come until later in the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So there's speculation that they had that character planned during the first release, but didn't use it. The Freddy with the bones and the knives coming right out of the bony hand, but they only introduced it on the box art itself. So anyway, just an interesting fun fact, that bony hand does not appear in Nightmare on Elm Street 1. Viewers, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how the story goes. But Nightmare on Elm Street has amazing cover art, amazing box art. I loved the days when they used paintings to show the horror as opposed to the actors. It just has a real storyline feel about it. It feels like an old novel or, an old Pulp Fiction book, A Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the media pictures at the bottom. Everything about this screams 1980s horror, and it's graded 9.4, which is an excellent grade, which is why this sold for $500. Number 2 is a film I've never heard of, 1988's Tabloid, sold at auction for $525. Go ahead and read the box cover. You're not going to know at all what this movie's about. I don't know what this movie's about. It's got something about a baby with a beard, a eating barbecue with some zombies, a killer vacuum. I don't know what the storyline or plot is here. I don't know why this one is a desirable video outside of the fact that that cover just looks really cool. It feels like some sort of exploitation movie, or within that big box category, the dark corner of the VHS store, and you didn't want anyone to see you renting it, all that sort of stuff. Viewers, if you have more information about this title, please leave comments and let us know. But I can report it came in at number 2. It sold for $525, 1988's VHS copy of Tabloid. And number 1 is a special title indeed. Army of Darkness, the sequel to The Evil Dead. This one is a screener copy, which means that it came out before the movie came out. It would have been sent to the video stores so they could decide if they wanted to buy the movie, and they could also put it on the movie screen in the corner of the video store as people were browsing and renting their films. So that's what a screener was. It wasn't meant to be sold, it wasn't meant to be rented, and because of that, it's a lot rarer than the production release. And also, it's rare to find screeners that are sealed because they're meant to be opened and viewed so you can decide if you want to buy the movie. And for that reason, and also because Army of Darkness just really appeals to the horror audience, it's got quite a following, this copy sold for $2,025. And the last time I counted down Horror VHS was way back in December of 2023, more than a year ago. And at that time, number 1 was The Evil Dead. This one was an IGS 9 box. I think this was a first print with an 8.5 seal, and it sold for $4,801. If you are interested in all the information about this Evil Dead, go back in the archives and try to find that top 5. You'll be glad you did. But that does it for this week. Thank you for tuning in. This is CollectAWrestlePalooza. We'll see you again soon.
CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.